Everyone talks about how much money you have, but very few understand how fast it moves. The rich know a truth the average person forgets. Money that moves wisely grows. Money that sleeps quietly dies. In this episode, you'll discover what economists call the velocity of money and why understanding it can change the way you see wealth, business, and even national growth. The velocity of money simply means how often a single unit of currency, like $1, is used to buy goods or services within a certain time frame. If that $1 circulates 5 times in a year, its velocity is 5. High velocity means energy and activity. Low velocity means stagnation. Think of an economy as a heart and cash flow as its blood. When money keeps circulating from a salary to a store, from the store to a supplier, and from the supplier back to a worker, the whole system stays alive and healthy. But when it slows down, the economy feels cold and sluggish. It's a simple concept, but its impact is massive. Now, you might think that having more money is always better. A nation can print more money, but that doesn't automatically guarantee prosperity. If that new cash just sits in bank accounts or under mattresses, nothing really changes. True wealth isn't about how much money exists. It's about how much of it is actively moving. Imagine a small town with limited funds but constant, bustling trade. That town can feel more alive and prosperous than a rich city where all the capital is frozen, locked away in vaults. Money is an energy, a current. It's meant to circulate, not to collect dust. Stagnant money doesn't create jobs, fund innovation, or build communities. Moving money does. Let's break down how this cycle of circulation actually works. It starts when a worker gets paid. They then spend some of that money at a local market. The shopkeeper uses that income to buy new supplies from a producer. That supplier then pays their employees, and guess what? Those employees go out and spend their wages, starting the cycle all over again. That single initial payment ends up fueling multiple livelihoods. It ripples through the economy. This is why during hard times, when everyone starts saving excessively out of fear, it can unintentionally freeze economic growth. The cycle weakens. Of course, saving for safety is crucial, but balance is the key. We need to let our money breathe. So what makes money move faster or slower? A huge part of it is confidence. Velocity rises when confidence rises. When people feel optimistic about the future, they invest, they buy things, they hire new employees. They believe that tomorrow will be better, so they're willing to put their money to work today. Conversely, when fear spreads, people hold back. They hesitate. And that hesitation, multiplied across millions of people, slows down the entire economic system. You could say that money moves at the speed of trust. This is why things like education, government transparency, and stable institutions are so incredibly important. They build the collective confidence that keeps the economic heartbeat strong and healthy. This same principle of velocity doesn't just apply to entire nations. It governs your personal financial life too. When you earn money and immediately put it to work, whether that's through starting a business, learning a new skill, or making small investments, your personal financial heart stays strong and active. But when you hoard cash out of fear, letting it sit idle, your own financial growth grinds to a halt. The wealthy understand this deeply. They almost never leave their money doing nothing. Even their emergency cash is often placed in short-term, low-risk instruments where it can earn quiet returns. They maintain liquidity, the ability to access cash quickly, but they always give it direction and a job to do. Have you ever stopped to think about what happens every single time money changes hands? Each transaction is a validation of someone's work. Every purchase you make funds another person's creativity, another company's research and development, or another worker's salary. The faster the circulation of money, the greater the demand for production, which in turn creates more jobs and spurs innovation. When velocity collapses, opportunity shrinks for everyone. That's why healthy societies encourage ethical trade and entrepreneurship. They are the engines that turn still, passive capital into active, life-changing value for the entire community. Money in motion is opportunity in motion. In the past, money moved slowly. It was passed from hand to hand and transactions could take days. But now, digital payments and online platforms have accelerated the velocity of money worldwide. A bank transfer that once took 3 days to clear now happens in seconds. This incredible speed doesn't just save time. It creates entirely new forms of business and opportunity. We now have instant e-commerce, micro-investing platforms where anyone can start with just a few dollars, and seamless global collaboration. The faster and more secure the flow of money becomes, the more connected and potentially more prosperous our world can be. Technology is essentially lubricating the gears of the global economy. But, and this is a big but, velocity alone isn't always a good thing. Too much flow without enough real value creation leads to a problem called inflation. That's when prices for goods and services rise much faster than the actual production of those things. Your money buys less and less. So the goal isn't just to move money recklessly or as fast as possible. The goal is to move it meaningfully. Every transaction should represent an exchange of real value, a useful service, a valuable skill, a clever solution to a problem. That's the secret sauce that turns fast movement into sustainable, long-term growth, not just a temporary bubble. So how can you apply this to your own life and increase your personal money velocity wisely? First, automate your investments. Set it up so a part of your income immediately goes into productive assets, like stocks or a business fund. Second, reinvest your profits. Let your returns create more returns. That's the power of compounding. Third, pay yourself first by saving, but also spend with purpose. Choose to support local and ethical businesses. Their growth strengthens your entire community. And finally, keep learning. The best velocity comes from growing your own skills and increasing your earning power. Money moves best through a mind that also keeps moving. In the end, money is not just a tool to keep, it's a pulse to keep alive. When it flows through hands that create, learn, and share, it transforms from simple currency into a form of connection. It links us all together in a web of mutual support and progress. Every coin, every dollar spent with wisdom is like a seed being planted for someone else's growth, and ultimately, for our collective prosperity. Money that moves with purpose creates prosperity. Because in the end, wealth isn't just what you hold, it's what you set in motion. Thank you for watching. If this idea resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to Sethtra for more, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. See you in the next episode.